Hey everybody, it's Kyle. So a few years ago, I was at a conference and I watched as a lady got up. She was an adult sister, had a couple of brothers and sisters, and mom and dad, and some kids, and she got up and she had this real extreme frustration. I won't go into the detail of what kind of conference it was, but and you know the the uh, the guy who was running the conference started asking her some questions, and her frustration was with her family because they were just out of control and in her mind not acting right and doing the things they should do, and she was really frustrated about it. And the more questions that the guy asked of the girl, the more it started to come to light that her expectation was that if she asked them to do something, they should do it, and they should think the same way she did, and they should be on the same path as her. And when they didn't, or when they had conflicting views or ideas or wanted to go down different paths than she wanted to go down, it frustrated her. And it was really interesting because the more questions the guy asked, the more everybody in the group started to understand. She just wanted everybody to do everything she wanted to do, when she wanted to do it, exactly how she wanted to do it, and that would make her happy. Otherwise, she was going to be frustrated. And, as this all came to light and she started to realize it, it got me to thinking about my family and, working with my kids on the autism spectrum. And it really kind of brought me back to the dream I think we all had when we got married and started having kids, is that we would have this perfect white picket fence life somehow. And us and our spouses would always get along and treat each other kindly, and our kids would be obedient and loving and kind, and really it reminded me of this girl who thought everybody should do everything she said, when she said it, exactly how she said it, not have any opinions of their own for her to be happy. That was what was required. And at the time, it was even prior to me having really understanding what the autism spectrum was. And what me and my wife did was, really, we had two sons at the time, is kind of start rewriting our plan of happiness, our white picket fence plan. Because that really doesn't exist. That's not a reality. I mean, even if you don't have kids on the spectrum, there are going to be difficulties. Your life is not going to be this, this just rosy stream of love and kindness and happiness until you die. That's not what any of us get. And so, she and I decided that we would really write a plan of happiness that included how we would manage family members that we couldn't get along with, or what we would do, even to the point where we talked about we shouldn't expect each of us to get along with each other perfectly. And so I want to kind of present that idea to you in hopes that you'll think, the life that you've got now probably wasn't what you imagined. And to have these expectations that are unrealistic is a bad expectation, and you're always going to be frustrated if you somehow believe that your spouse should always do everything you say, when you say, exactly how you say, and your kids, even your typical kids, should always do what you say, how you say it, and when you say it, exactly the way you said it, and understand completely and totally everything you say. And that's just a bad expectation. And you're never, if that's your idea of what happiness is, everybody doing what you want, when you want, how you want, you're never going to be happy. So I want to challenge you to really sit down and think about, what it would really take for your new level of happiness. Because none of us have the kind of families we thought we were going to have. And really, I think we need to take out the acts of others as part of what makes us happy or not happy. My sons on the spectrum do things that are socially unacceptable. They say things that are socially unacceptable. They do things that they shouldn't do. They defy. They argue. They do all these things. And for me to expect them not to, I'm always going to be frustrated. And you probably are too. So the question you have to ask yourself is, how can you manage yourself in a way so that when they do these things, you can address them in a way that makes you and them happier? We're all going to have difficulties. We're all going to have problems. But if we can create a plan of happiness that includes solving and working through these difficulties, we're going to be a lot happier. And that's what we've done. Hopefully that's what you can do. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.